And that's why we are covering It's a Wonderful Life, starring James Stewart, Carol Reed, and Lionel Barrymore. Right off the bat, let's get into performances of this movie. Okay, so let's talk about James Stewart first for performances. I've always liked James Stewart. And to some people, he's an acquired taste, and you have to deal with, I guess, his speech and his accent that threw some people off, which I never understood why. I mean, whatever, he has an accent. But I've always liked him as a performer, and I could see why everyone loved him in this movie. He is so good in this movie. He carries the film throughout the movie, and because the film relies on him so much to be likable and to identify with him and go through with going through his trials and tribulations, he plays the gamut of emotions and this performance really well. Like I was actually very surprised because I was going into this movie thinking this is not going to be that deep of a movie. Yes, it's a popular movie, but usually popular movies aren't really very deep or have really good performances in them. But this really is an exception. He does a really good job playing George Bailey in this. From being a teenager slash college student, which that's a stretch, to when he was an adult with being married and with kids. This type of performance that he has to play, he has to be sympathetic. Well, having people understand and sympathize with his plight. A lot of people have a hard time sometimes feeling bad for people who, I guess, settle or who don't get the things they want in life or get frustrated in their lot in life. And a lot of people like to dismiss it and go, oh, you should just be happy with what you have. Or you know, there are people who have worse, like, and just dismiss it outright. And that's really, with people, I guess, I mean, that's usually what people will say to you when you're frustrated about, let's say, where your life has gone at this point. And that makes a performance like that really hard to resonate with, because you then have to hope that the audience is liking the character enough to not only cheer for his triumphs, but sympathize with the fact that things are just not going the way it was planned. And his performance is so good that I could see why a lot of people still resonate with this character and still like George Bailey. Despite him kind of being a jerk at certain points of the movie. It's understandable when he is, but he lashes out in the wrong way, which we all do at times. But to still make James Stewart's performance still resonate and still to be likable and you want to root for him, it really just shows how great of a performance that James Stewart did in this movie. Really, really good performance. Carol Reed is pretty good in this movie. She unfortunately doesn't have much. Well, she has a little to do. I mean, she does the same things that James Stewart does. It goes through high school to college to being an adult, and she's more believable in that age transition, only because she doesn't look like she ages at all. But you know that happens. But yeah, she was pretty good as the love interest in this movie. Lionel Barrymore is actually pretty good in this. He plays Mr. Potter. He is a stereotypical kind of villain in this movie, but whenever his character is on screen, like, he's really effective as Mr. Potter, and he plays I would say now the standard. I would say he probably is the standard of what people look at when it comes to evil capitalists. Someone who generally cares nothing but the bottom line, how much money he's making, how much money he's losing, and it be damned who it's helping or hurting, essentially. So he did a really good performance in this as well. I'll get to writing real quick in here. The film was written by Francis Goodrich, Albert Hackett, and Frank Capra. Okay, I didn't know that. That's good. The screenplay is really good. I'm surprised at the direction that this film went in this. I'll get to why in spoilers in that one, but when I'm starting to now notice why some people call films like let's say like Love Actually, Notting Hill, About Time, Capra-esque. They can take deep, sometimes troubling content and subject matter and still give it like a whimsical, happy feeling and happy face to it, which is really hard to do without it being too saccharine and just really corny to a certain extent. So that the writing is very good in this as well, and the direction by Frank Capra, like some of the shots in this movie, is very good. When again, we'll get into spoilers with that when it comes to specific shots and everything, but Frank Capra definitely laid out a whole tableau throughout the entire film of not only the character, but the town at which it is set in, and gives it this lived-in Americana feeling that is just feels so good to watch at times in this movie. I had a smile throughout my face when watching this. It is such a joy. It's a not really a joyous film, but at the end it was, which is a standard thing with these types of movies. So yeah, I think it was directed very well by Frank Capra. I'll get into spoilers as to why that is in the movie. I really got nothing bad to say about this. It's not a perfect movie. It's not. I mean, I don't give 5 stars for a movie that I've only seen once. I just don't believe in doing that. But I can definitely see why this is some people's not only favorite Christmas movie, but also their favorite movie. Period. It is such a happy kind of not happy. It's a life affirming film. It's a film that I would say when you're down, and I understand now when people are down, and when they pop in this film, they realize, there is meaning to their life anyway, no matter what's going on in their lives and how they feel and what's going on in their lives. So I definitely felt that when watching this film. And to be fair, I'm as much as I like watching really challenging films, I'm deep down a softie. I like romance films. I like happy films. And I can definitely see why so many people and so many film lovers love this movie. And yeah, I'm fast becoming one of them. I might watch this again before the holiday is over. But yeah, this is a really good movie. I really enjoyed this.